Okay, students, now let's see the execution part. So, however, you might have seen the hypervisor in different experiments. This is where my hypervisor can note down the IP address of the hypervisor as well. So, as 172, 70, 24, 14, and 169. So, now let me access this hypervisor from the client for creating the vSwitch among the number of VMs which are available on this hypervisor. So we'll go to the vSwitch. So I hope you know that how to access the hypervisor. So provide the IP address and the username and the password for accessing the hypervisor. So make sure that in order to demonstrate or in order to implement this experiment, make sure that at least you have 3 to 4 VMs on the hypervisor. Then only you can understand better, right? So as far as the example which I'm considering here, so this is where the hypervisor you can see my hypervisor which is 172, 24, 14 and 169. And there are totally 5 VMs on this hypervisor, right? So I have 5 VMs on this hypervisor. As however, we say that this is the beauty of the virtualization. You can access the host machine and also the VMs available on that host machine and control those VMs as well from the client machine itself. You don't have to go physically to that host machine to either it can be switch off and switch on VMs. Now the topic whatever we have taken up, which is for creating the switch, right? Now let me show you how to create the switch. Even before I say that how to create the switch, first let me show you how many switches are already available, right? So for that perspective itself, first try to know what we are going to do today. So as however I had explained in the theory part about the vSwitch and all. So now let me take up the vSwitch. This is what I said in the theory part as well. So you'll be where you'll be having the uh, this is the particular LAN which is connected to the outside world through the physical machine, where it may be connected to the or it may be connected through the NIC or the adapter, and on that physical machine you might have placed the so many VMs. All those VMs are connected to the your vSwitch, which is virtualized switch which is available physically, right? So what is the importance of the vSwitch? Again, these points already I taught in the theory point of view. Again, you can just make a note of it. So to provide the security, high level security, we do make use of this vSwitch. Again, for monitoring, very, very importantly, it is the monitoring is very important. Then increase in the quality of service and automated control. These are the four major requirements where we'll be creating the vSwitch for the n number of VMs which are already placed on the hypervisor, right? So then now let me show you here. As I already said, I have placed 5 VMs on this hypervisor. So I'll show you something like where and how they are connected. So go to the configuration tab. I repeat, go to the configuration tab here. When you click on this configuration tab, you have multiple hardwares, whatever it is connected to this hypervisor. As however we say for every experiment, even generally, so any hardware which is connected to the or which is available with the physical machine can be virtualized and can be used for your virtual machine, right? I repeat, whatever the hardware is available in the physical machine can be virtualized and used for the virtual machine. So in the same way, there are the plenty of hardware devices which are virtualized, and you can see that those are listed here, right? Among all this, let me take up one of the hardware which is I want you to get into this, which is network adapter. So I hope you know that however, we have explained about the NIC, which is network interfacing card, in the previous experiments. So now, as I'm talking about the network adapter. So definitely, if there is a NIC, in a sense, must and should there should be an adapter for your mission. So remember, if there is no NIC and there is no adapter, I can tell you, if there is no NIC, then your system cannot be connected to the outside world. If you want to place the NIC, then there must be a connected adapter with you, right? So when I talk about the adapter, so here I have the just a demonstration of adapter. So this is what one of the adapter, and this is the NIC. I repeat, this is the adapter, this is the NIC, and this is the interfacing with the motherboard whenever you connect this. This is the, like I can say it as a network interfacing card or the adapter, right? So this is for the physical. However, this is for the physical adapter where you'll be connecting connecting the machine to by using this through the physical cable. You may consider the Ethernet cable, the LAN cable, right? So through this port you can connect it. Otherwise, you may also take up the adapter for the wireless adapter as well. This is the one of the example for the wireless adapter. And here, as a gigabit adapters which are available right now, where you can have multiple NICs with a single adapter. This is what I wanted to demonstrate here. So where there is a multiple NICs with a single adapter, right? So where there is a possibility where you can connect your device with the multiple networks at the same time. So just have a look into this before we get into the actual experiment, right? So now coming back to my experiment, however, as part of network adapter, I can display here, or what it is displayed here, it is a VM NIC 0. You can observe this, it is a VM NIC 0. It means to say that there is only one virtual machine NIC available in this hypervisor. The reason why it is displaying it as VM NIC 0 in the sense, because my physical machine, the host machine on which the hypervisor is hosted, it is having only one NIC, only one adapter. As it is having only one adapter, again I repeat, adapter which may change from the kind of connectivity to the other connectivity. Say for example, Bluetooth adapter, a wireless adapter, right? Can be a wired adapter. So it may get changed. But here we are using, or it is connected with the only one NIC. So only one NIC is virtualized for this adapter. And I have connected my physical machine to the internet over the Ethernet, which is physical wired network. So I'm using only the wired adapter only, not the wireless. So in that perspective, so only this VM NIC 0 is virtualized. So that's the reason it is, if you see here it is VM NIC 0, it means to say that virtual machine NIC 0, it is only 1, right? Again, if you look into this point, which is vSwitch 0, so there is a switch which is available, which is vSwitch. However, I had explained in the previous diagram. So there must be one of the vSwitch which is to be available for connecting the n number of VMs which you have placed on the hypervisor, right? And also that switch again, it is again addressed by the MAC address. This is the MAC address. I'll tell you the MAC address for the vSwitch and the MAC address for the different devices will be different. You don't have to get confused and think that both are same. No. However, your devices will be configured with the different MAC address. In the same way, even your switch will also be configured with the specific MAC, right? And based on the number of devices you can connect to that switch, based on the number of devices you can connect to that switch, the IP address will be assigned here. You can observe here. It start from 172 to 2401 till 172, 2415 and 254. These many IP addresses can be assigned to the devices which are connected to this switch 0, right? I hope you are clear with this, right? We are using only one physical NIC to this mission, so only that is virtualized as a NIC 0, and so it is connected to the switch 0, and it is configured with the respective MAC address. And how many devices can be connected to this, in the sense it is also specified with the IP address range, start from 2401 to the 15254. Basically, this 2401 to the 08 will be our gateway IP addresses, and followed by the rest of the IP addresses can be assigned to the n number of devices which you place or which you connect to this vSwitch, right? Now let me go to the networking. When I go to the networking, so if I click on networking, as I said, there will be one default switch, that is what switch 0. A defaultly, any number of, as I said, 5 VMs which are placed on this hypervisor, in the sense, all those 5 VMs are connected to the same switch through the same network we call as a VM network. There is only one network which is connected to this vSwitch right now, or as of now. Whereas all those devices are connected to that switch through the same NIC, not the different, right? It is through the same NIC. That's what this VM network, which is virtual machine network, which is connected to the vSwitch 0. Let me show you something here, how it is connected, in the sense it is connected as like this. There are 5 VMs which are placed on the hypervisor. This is what I said. So a physical machine is having one adapter. This is what my adapter. Just for representation, I'm using a different way, right? One adapter, you may consider it as a one NIC. That NIC is virtualized for your purpose. For purpose of what? Purpose to connect the VMs, right? So however, you say that without the NIC, physical machine cannot have a communication to the outside world. In the same way, without the NIC, even the virtual machines cannot even have the communication to the outside world. But that VM, those VMs, it will be making use of the virtual NIC, which is the virtualized version of your physical NIC, right? So as in this example, all these 5 VMs are connected to the same virtual NIC and all are belongs to the same network. For representation, this is what I am using. All are belongs to the same network, right? So now, can we create multiple networks? For the question like, can we create the multiple networks with the same NIC or not? I repeat the question. Can we create the multiple networks by using the for connecting or to connect with the same NIC or not? In a sense, definitely yes. You can create as many as networks on the hypervisor whereby using the same NIC. It is possible. Now let me show you how to create. Let me show you how to create the multiple networks for the same switch, right? So even before me gaining that knowledge, so I'll show you something which is related to the vSwitch. If I click on this properties, I repeat, if I click on the properties of the vSwitch 0, so you can see these are all the properties of the vSwitch 0, whereby you can observe here there is the vSwitch, whereas uh, this vSwitch can be used to connect n number of devices, and how many you can connect to this vSwitch. In the sense, it is 120 because it is of 120 ports. It's of 120 ports. Rest of the ports will be used for the controlling, right? For the data access, you can connect 120 devices. Then any device you are connecting, so which is having the MT of 1500. I hope again like repeating the same point. This device is connected to the LAN, which is Ethernet LAN, and that Ethernet LAN provides the MT, which is maximum transfer unit, which is of 1518. Basically, it is 1518, whereas that 18 it is for the header and the tail part of your frame. So the maximum size of the frame can be up to only 1500 bytes, not more than that, right? Because with this 1500 bytes, another 18 bytes of header and the tail part will be attached to the particular frame before it is sent. Then rest is that, if you ask me whether that MAC, whatever it is assigned to that switch, can we change or not? In a sense, definitely as of now it is yes. If you want to change, if you want to replace this, or if you want to change the mode, so as I have selected this vSwitch and go to edit, when you go to edit, this is where it is asking you number of ports. Do you want to increase or decrease, right? So you can make a decision. As of now it is 120. If you want to make it as minimum as 24 ports till 4088 ports, so many devices you can connect to the single switch. As of now, as I'm using only 5 VMs, so I don't have to increase, so I just kept same. Then coming to this MTU, which is maximum transfer unit, you can define in your own way. This is the standard for your standard Ethernet. If you want to decrease it, you can decrease. If you want to increase for the wireless communications and all, you can change, right? As far as security, this is what where I said, do you want to give the permission for changing the MAC address or not? That's where this MAC address changes came into the picture. You want to reject, so you can reject. Where nobody can change your MAC address of the switch. So it's left to you what parameter you are going to set. Then there is a traffic shaping. I hope you have studied about congestion controlling. So is there a necessity of traffic shaping or not? That's the point which you are going to set here. So as of now, it is disabled. If you want to enable, you can enable it. So you can enable it, and then you state in your own way. Like how many kilobits per second? What is the maximum bandwidth or average bandwidth you want to allow? Because as I said, traffic shaping itself is used for congestion controlling. When exactly you want to have when exactly there is a necessity of controlling or avoiding the congestion, what is the maximum capacity, right? So that's all. Even you can set the average bandwidth, peak bandwidth, which is the maximum bandwidth, and the burst size you can set if you want to enable. If not, if you disable, definitely traffic shaping will not be taken place. And I say here, I don't need any traffic shaping to be demonstrated here, because I am demonstrating only how to create the multiple network, but I'm not demonstrating any kind of data transmission. When I'm not demonstrating any kind of data transmission, so I just disable that traffic shaping. So when you think of data transmission among the number of VMs available in the multiple network, so then you can enable this traffic shaping for the purpose of congestion controlling, right? Then finally, a NIC. This is what I said. So based on the number of NICs which are available and the adapters, so this is where we will be working on this. These are all the properties of the switch, whatever I said, right? Now let me move on. As of now, as there is only one switch and there is only one network, you can visualize here itself. There is only one network which is created on this switch 0. So all those are connected to the network or to this switch. We're using the same network. It is the same as this. This is what I said. This is the NIC. This is the NIC adapter, right? So all the devices are connected to the NIC through as if they are all belongs to the same network. And as I said, can you create the multiple networks in this sense? Definitely yes. You can create the multiple networks, right? So how to create that multiple networks belongs to the same switch. I repeat, belongs to the same switch. How to do it in a sense? For that, so go to this properties. I repeat, go to this properties. When you go to the properties, so select switch. Don't click on uh, any other option. So select switch and go to the add. When you go to the add, when you go to add, then here it is asking you whether connection type, whether you want it to be a virtual machine connection or virtual kernel connection. As of now, as I'm using the host-based hypervisor, I don't need to go to the VM kernel. If at all we are using the bare metal, then we're supposed to select the VM kernel. So as of now, as I'm using the host-based, so you can just go for the option of virtual machine, right? So select the virtual machine, go further, and here this is what the name of the network you would like to create. So as of now, let it be as VM network 2, because one is already available. So let it be as VM network 2, right? So I'll just finish. So as soon as I finish, you can observe here there is a one more network came into the picture, which you can observe it right here, which is VM network 2. Earlier there was only VM network 1 with the switch. So now it is VM network 2 also came to the picture. So now let's do something different. So as if, let me among all this, let me only open two VMs, which is let me open VM hypervisor WinXP 1 and let me open WinXP 4, right? So let me open these two. This is 4 and this is 1, okay? And now let us try to ping among these two. I repeat, let us ping these two. When I ping these two, so let's see whether the communication can happen between these two or not. So right before I go with the further steps, so let me show you. So can you ping among these two or not? Right, that's what I'm trying to show you. First, let us find out what is the IP address of it. So it is IP config. So I hope you know that. So I got to know that IP address of this is 172.24.2.124. So I'll go to this, right? So I'll try to ping IP config. Okay. Now I have some IP address. Now let's ping. Ping 172. 172. Yeah. Ping 172.24.2.124, which is the IP address of the other mission, right? So I'm getting the success message. The same way, let me come here and ping to the other mission. So which is ping followed by 172. Yeah, 172.24 2.119. So when I did, so I'm getting success. So remember, as of now, both these two VMs, even though I have placed 5 VMs on this hypervisor, I'm just considering only 2 VMs as of now, which is WinXP1 and WinXP4, right? So when both the VMs are in the same network, or belongs to the same network, so pinging is success. Now what I will do? So what I will do? let me change, as I have created the multiple networks here, as I have created the multiple networks. So let me keep the VM1 on the here. Let me keep the VM1, which is WinXP1 on the VM network itself, and let me push the 4 to the network 2. So what I'm trying to do in the sense like this, it was like this, all were belongs to the same. Now what I'm trying to do in the sense, I'm retaining the VM1 onto the network 1 itself, right? I'm pushing the VM4. I'm pushing the VM4 onto the network 2. So this is what network 2 for your difference. So if you want to me to make any difference, so you can so see, right? This is the different network. This is different network. Make a difference. Okay. Now I have created the two networks. Now what I'm going to do in the sense, instead of VM4 was earlier, VM4 was also belongs to the network 1. Now I'm pushing that to the VM4 onto the network 2. How to do it? Right? Come back to the console, which is on the inventory. And in this inventory, right click on the WinXP4. That's what VM4. Right click on the VM4. Go to edit settings. Go to edit settings. In the edit settings, select network adapter. I repeat, select network adapter. Once you select network adapter, this is where you can see network label. You can see the network label. Default, it will be a VM network. So now what I'm going to do in the sense, I will select network 2. I will select network 2. I'll select network 2 and just okay. So what I did, I pushed the WinXP4, which was on the VM1, which is network 1, to the network 2. That's what I did, right? Now I'll take up the same way. So any of VM1 is available, right? So I'll take up the VM4. Now let's see whether the IP address is modified or not. Because earlier the VM4 was on the network 1. Now I push it to the network 2. Now let's see whether the IP address is being changed or not, right? So if you observe right here, this is what I want you to observe clearly. If you observe right here, when I try to check the IP address as if whether it is a whether the IP address is modified or not, you can observe this clearly that this is not configured yet. It is the adapter, the network whatever we have created here, the network whatever we have created here, it is not configured yet. So whatever the VM which we placed onto that network 4, so it is not configured. So remember how to come out, how to make sure that it is configured or not in a sense. It is very simple thing. Do I repeat before I go to the next step? Remember what I did? WinXP4, it was on the VM network 1 that I pushed to the network 2. Then I try to find out the IP address of the VM4, which is WinXP4. It is showing that the configuration is not yet complete. So only you could not able to get the current IP address of it. How to, or what is the possibility? So nothing to worry. Just power off the, just power off WinXP4. Whatever the WinXP4 you had, power off, then power on. Because it requires some time to configure, right? So power, I just powered off and power on. Now again, I'm opening the console. Console of WinXP4. I hope you guys are following. So what I did earlier, all were in the same network. I pushed the WinXP4 from the VM1 to the VM4. I just pushed that and then I am configuring, right? So the configuration would be complete. So as soon as the configuration is complete, now let us find out what is the IP address of WinXP4, right? Now can you see, can you observe? Configuration is complete. But one thing you have to observe clearly that, does the IP address is changed? No. IP address is not at all changed. You may ask me, why the IP, when it is connected to the different network, why the IP address is not changed? The only reason why the IP address is not changed in that sense, because I didn't push this mission onto the any other network belongs to the different switches. I pushed the VM to the other network belongs to the same switch, and very importantly, that switch is having the same gateway. It is having the same gateway and the same subnet. When it is having the same subnet and same gateway, I repeat this, when I earlier VM4 it may be connected to the different network. You feel that it is different network. what I did, I created two networks and I placed the VM4 to the other network other than the network 1. I placed network 2. But one thing you should understand that both, even though I pushed VM4 onto the other network, but both the networks are belongs to the same switch which is configured with the same gateway and the subnet mask. When it is configured with the same gateway and subnet mask, you may push you like this itself. You create plenty of networks on the same belongs to the same network, same switch and the same gateway. Then the definitely IP address will not change. If at all it is to be changed in the sense, you need to change the gateway IP, right? So that's the reason you can feel that which is both are same. So you can also I can also show you pinging. Now also it is pinging. Earlier it was pinging, right? So if at all if you want to know reverse pinging, so let me also do that. Ping followed by 172.24.2.124. I'm just using this IP address ping, IP address of this machine, right? So it is success. It's happening, right? This is what I would like to conclude here, that on the same switch which is having the same gateway, if you create any number of networks, but the configuration of the respective VM will never change, right? You're only changing the network. You're not changing the switch or you're not changing the gateway, right? Is it clear? So in the same way, you can also push. However, I have shown in the diagram, you can also retain the VM2. However, here you can retain the VM2, right? This is how you can retain the VM2 on 1 and 2 on the network 1 itself, and you can push 3 and the 5 also onto the VM network 2. How to do it? So right click on that VM which you want to push. Okay, I'll just right click on the 5. As of now, I'll right click on the 5. Okay, I'll go to where? Edit settings. Clear? I'll go to edit settings. Okay, double click on the network adapter, and here in the network label, select that network 2. Once I select that, which you can observe, so you can see 4 and 5 is also pushed. The same way, how to push 3? How to push 3? Again, as usual, right click on the VM which you want to push, go to edit settings. In that, select the adapter, then go to network label and push it. Okay, I hope you guys are following. This is how till now I just shown how to create the multiple networks and how to push the VMs from one network to the other network belongs to the same switch. You can see all these networks are belongs to the same switch, which is switch 0, right? So till now I just only shown that. Now let us go to the next step. Can you make something different as any VM be part of the multiple networks like this? So this is network 1, I will say this is the network 2, I'll call it as, where can I make like this, where VM1 and 2 is belongs to the network 1 and 3 and 5 belongs to the network 2, wherein 5 is belongs to the both network 1 and network 2. Can I do this? This is what, let's see this case as well. So can I do this in the sense, now we can do it. I'll tell you how to make it, right? So as of now, WinXP5 is belongs to the network 2. You are asking me to make it for the part of the network 1 also, which is the VM belongs to the multiple networks. Is it possible? If you want to connect, think practically. If you want to connect any device to the multiple networks, say for example, you have to connect your computer or a laptop to the Ethernet, you should have the separate Ethernet adapter. If you want to connect the same laptop to the Wi-Fi, you should have the Wi-Fi adapter. If you want to connect to the Bluetooth, you should have the respective Bluetooth adapter. However, you say that your network should be connected whenever you want to connect your device to the multiple network, it should have the multiple adapters. Keep this in mind. Whenever you want to connect any device to the multiple network, it must have the multiple adapters. But how many adapters does this 5 has? Right? So let me show you that. How many adapters does this have? So I'll go to the right click, edit settings. So here, if you observe, there is only one adapter. What can be done? If you want to connect node 5 to the multiple networks, I want this node 5 should have the multiple adapters. I repeat, multiple adapters. How to get it? For that, so click on this network adapter 1, right? Click on this and go for the add. When I repeat, select this network adapter, go to add, and from this I want you to select the Ethernet adapter. Select Ethernet adapter and just go to the next, right? Just go to the next and finish. As soon as you do that, can you see here, there will be a two adapters. I'll just give okay. Okay, I'll just give okay. Again, if I go to the edit settings, I want you to observe here, there will be a two adapter, which is network adapter 1 and network adapter 2. Now here is a point that when you select network adapter 1, you can see by this point you can summarize here that WinXP5 is part of both VM network and VM network 2. It is something like WinXP is connected to the network 2 by using adapter 1, and it is connected to network 1 by using adapter 2. If you want me to replace, you can replace for your understanding. So you can see now. I hope you can see now. By using network adapter 1, it is connected to the network 1. By using network adapter 2, it is connected to the network 2. So you can say that now 5 is part of both the networks 1 and 5. Right? Is it clear? So remember, if at all if you want to make any device to be a part of multiple networks, you must make sure that that device is having the multiple adapters. Right? So that's what I did now. So first I have created the multiple adapters for the WinXP5. Then I connected or attached with the multiple networks. Right? So this is what we did. I just did what I did. 1 and 2 is a part of single network, which is network 1. 3 and 4, it is part of the network 2. Whereas 5, VM5 is part of both the network. It may be, you can also ask me whether the IP address will be different in the sense. Definitely, I will show you that. But you should make sure that VM5 is part of both the network, but connected to the same switch. Connected to the same switch. So even though 5 is part of 2 and 1, whereas this network 1 and network 2 is constructed or connected over the switch 0 itself. Right? Clear? Now I'll let's see the IP address part. As I said, so I'll just switch on it. Okay, so I'll just switch on that WinXP5 and let me go to the console. When I go to the console, now this is what very important thing which you're supposed to know. Whenever you click on anything, right? Even if you want me to show you, so I'll come back to the physical machine and I'll show you later. We'll go back to the virtual machine. So in the physical machine also, my physical machine, I'll go to the command prompt. Okay, so I'll go to the command prompt. In the command prompt, I'll try to find out the IP address of my machine. Right. So this is what I just told you just now. My device, I repeat, my physical machine is part of Ethernet. So if at all this used to be part of Ethernet, so it is having the Ethernet adapter. Can you look into this? Then it can also be part of the wireless LAN. So it is having a wireless adapter. So again, if you observe, there is a two LAN adapters, right? LAN adapter 2 and LAN adapter 3. Then it can also be part of the VM network. So it is having the VM network adapter 1 and the 2. This is what I just said. If your device is to be a part of multiple networks, it must have the multiple adapters. By using such kind of multiple adapters itself, you can connect to the multiple networks. Okay, let me come back. So what we did, we made this node 5 as the part of the two networks, which is network 1 and network 2. Now let's see the IP address. Let us try to find out the IP address, and you can see what is the slight difference you can feel from the other VMs to this VM. So if I go to this IP config, can you observe this? This is what the major difference I would like to note, and you have to note very importantly. Can you see this? Where it is having the two IP addresses. I repeat, this is having the two IP addresses. One is 172.24.2.71 and other it is 172.24.2.138. Okay, is it clear? Now what should we do? We'll make it very simple as far as the execution. So I'll just place like this, okay, where you may understand better, right? So how many VMs I'm considering right now? Keep this in mind. I'm considering totally 3 VMs. If you remember, WinXP1 is part of what? WinXP1 is part of WinXP1 is purely part of network 1, whereas WinXP4 is part of purely network 2, whereas WinXP5 is part of both network 1 and network 5. This is what? 1 is part of network 1, 4 is part of network 4, and 5 is part of both the networks. Okay. Now and also I said, as 1 is part of only one network, WinXP1 is part of only one network. When I try to find out the IP address, it is showing you only one IP address. You can observe this, which is 172, 224, and 124. The same way, 4 is also part of one network. So when you try to find out the IP address, it is also showing the only one IP address. If you observe this, right? You can observe this only one IP address, because it is also part of a single network, wherein we created the two adapters for the WinXP5 and we made this to be a part of the two networks. So only I'm getting, when I find out the IP address of WinXP5, I'm getting the two IP addresses. Clear? Now let me ping from this WinXP5 to these devices on the different networks. Right? So now let me ping to this, which is 172.24.2.124. So which is IP address of WinXP1. Am I getting? No, see, you can ping. Yeah, ping space IP address of the WinXP1. Am I getting? Obviously yes. So let me try with the other mission. So ping followed by 172.24.2.119, which is the IP address of WinXP4. Am I getting? Definitely yes. So it means to say that when WinXP5 is part of the multiple networks, it can reach out any other devices belongs to those networks. We'll do reverse way. Let me go to the, yeah. So let me go to this WinXP1 and try pinging to the WinXP5 by using the different IP addresses, because WinXP5 has two different IP addresses, which is 172.24.2.79. Yeah. So you can see. So WinXP1 can reach to the WinXP5 by using the one of the IP address. Is it possible with the other IP address also? That also we can look into it. It is 172.24.2.138. So is it possible? Yes. Right? That's how WinXP1 can reach to the WinXP5 by using any of those two IP addresses. The same way, in last case, let's see, from WinXP4 to the 5, 172.24.2.79. It's happening. It's happening, right? So again, let me try with the other IP address, which is 138 as well. So which is also success. So a device can be part of multiple networks. So when it has to be part of multiple networks, it must be having the multiple adapters, and it has. And this is the example. When it has the multiple adapters, it will be having multiple IP addresses. By using any of those IP addresses, any other device can reach to that device. So that's what the demonstration which I shown right now. Fine. Now let me move on to the next case. These are all the different output cases. Keep these things in mind. Okay. Now let me show you this. What I would like to show you here that, so these are the two networks which are created by using the same switch, which is switch 0. In this representation, you can look into this. So yeah, so this is the switch 0 where network 1 and network 2 which I placed on the switch 0, right? Per suppose if I want to create one more network, but not connected to the switch 0, I would like to create one more switch. How to create the new switch? How to create the new switch in the sense? For that, go to this add networking. For creating the new switch, I repeat, go to this add networking. Okay. Then as usual, virtual machine. And here, when you go to this, here, take the example, take up this option as create vSphere vSwitch standard. Right? Create this. So just click OK and click next. So as soon as you complete this, you can observe there is switch 1 is created here. With that switch 1, you can also observe one more thing as network 3 is created with the switch 1. But very, very important point, you have to make an observation that where is the NIC? Does it having the NIC in a sense? No. The reason why it is not having, at the beginning itself I said, our physical machine is having only one NIC. In that case, You can only virtualize to be only one VM NIC, not the multiple VM NICs. So by using one VM NIC, you can only create only one switch, which is already created here as switch 0. If you try to create multiple switches like this, you can create, but which is of no use. For the point, like I said that it is of no use, I said I will show you that. I'll show you that. How can I say that it is of no use? So for that, let me change this depiction slightly. So yeah. So I'll make this as a 5, whereas this node 5 is part of both the networks, right? I hope you got this point. And I'll make this 3. I'll push VM3. Okay. What has happened till now? VM1 and 2 belongs to the network 1. 4 is belongs to the network 2. Clear? So now what I'm going to do in the sense, VM5 belongs to both the networks. Clear? Now what I'm going to do in the sense, let me push VM3 onto the network 3, but network 3 doesn't have the NIC, because network 3, this is network 3 in my depiction. Network 3 doesn't have the NIC because it is connected to the switch 1, and which doesn't have any NICs, or it doesn't have any adapters. When it doesn't have any adapters, what will be the status? I'll show you that. Right. So before that, as I said, first let us push VM3 onto the network 3. How to push it? How to push? So definitely go to the edit settings, right? Go to edit settings, select the adapter, and here select network 3. Select network 3 and come back to the hypervisor. So you can see, so 1 and 2 belong, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 belongs to the network 1. 5 is belongs to both network 2, 1 and 2. 4 is belongs to network 2, and 3 is belongs to network 3, right? So now let us see what is the status of WinXP3, because remember WinXP3 is in which network? It is network 3, which is connected to the switch 1, which doesn't have, I repeat, which doesn't have the adapter. That's what I shown here, right? Now let's see that status. So let's see the status of this VM. So what will be this? Okay. So I hope you guys are following this, right? So now, if I try to find out the IP address of this machine, can I do it or not? Or can I find it? So definitely try find it by using the IP config. When you do it, this is what very, very important step you should note. So is it assigned with any IP address? No. As it does not have the adapter, specific adapter. So even though you place the VM on the network, but as it doesn't have the adapter, so it is of no use. It's of no use. It will be a dummy VM, which will not have the connection to any outside world. You can observe right here, it is not connected, or it is not assigned with, or it is not configured with any address at all. Even if you ask me, can you send anything, in a sense, when it doesn't have the IP address, who can contact this? Who can send anything to this, right? It is not possible. Even if you ask me, can it happen with the outside world, in a sense, that also it is not possible. Let me show you. So here is an example that this is the WinXP1, right? This is the WinXP1, and it has its own IP address, which is 172.24.2.124. Now let me come back to the WinXP3, which is connected to the switch, which does not have the adapter. So let me ping, which is 172.24.2.124, which is the IP address of the WinXP1. When I did that, can you see this? The destination host unreachable, because it is request itself will not go out of this device. So only can say that whatever the packet sent, everything is lost. It is not received, because nobody can contact you, or you cannot contact anybody else, because you are not connected to the network through any adapter, right? So this is the last case I can tell you. So whatever we did, so first what we taken up. So first we connected all the devices to the single network. Then what we did, we created the multiple networks but connected to the same switch, and we pushed it to the multiple networks, and we made sure that IP address is not changed because the gateway is not changed. Next, we went on to make any device to be a part of multiple networks. As I said, if you want to make any device to be a part of multiple networks, you have to connect, you have to make, or you have to create multiple adapters. Then only you can make any device to be a part of multiple networks. Then we went on creating the one more network on the different switch which does not have the adapter. So when it does not have the adapter, you can see this is the new switch which is created with the on the hypervisor, but as it does not have the adapter, so it is of no use. Okay, so that's the different demonstration what we'd like to have as a part of this network. So finally, however we created, now let's also remove it. How to remove it? So if you want to remove this first as a part of removing, so if you want to create this switch 1 and the network 3 in the sense, make sure before you remove it, connect this WinXP to the any other network, which is very important. So what I'm trying to tell you is whatever the devices which are connected to it, whatever the VMs which are connected to that network, you need to give a connection or replace that those VMs onto the any other networks before you can delete the network. Before you can delete the network, that's what I like to tell you, right? As far as first before you remove this network 3, make sure WinXP you push it back to the network 1 itself. So how to do it? So click on the WinXP, go to the edit settings, okay, and select this, select the adapter, go to the label and give network 1. I'm done, right? Now come back and see. So no device is connected to the network. Now you can remove the network. So for that, go to properties, right? Select the network and remove. Select network and remove. Done. But can you remove the vSwitch here itself? In essence, there is no possibility to remove the vSwitch here itself, but you can remove from here. There is an option here. You can remove this. So the complete switch gone. In the same way, you can uh, uh, delete or remove the network 2 as well. But before you remove this network 2, anyhow 5 is already available in the network 1. So push the 4 also onto the network 1. Because why I'm talking about pushing now in that sense, it is a very common sense that before you can delete the network, you should make sure that there are no devices connected to it. If there are no devices connected to it, then there is no, then you can delete the network, right? Okay, that's the end of the demonstration of this experiment. Okay, I hope you followed this, right? Then we'll go back to the task. Thank you.